Well, hello everyone. Checking everything. Checks. Hello. I should be streaming. According to things on the internet, it says that I am. Let us know. We need to have verification other than what is my computer could be lying to me. It could be all a hoax and this could all be just imaginary. I just want to check my mic and everything. It should all just be the same as last week, but yeah, just check it. Right, it's hot here tonight, 27 degrees. I don't think it's 27 in here. I think it's probably more like 30-something degrees in here. I just sound very loud to myself, which is probably nothing to do with you guys, so I might just turn it down a bit. Okay. And I think the dog's wandering around. Yeah, just let me sort the dog out. Okie dokies, dog sorted out. Loud and clear, everyone says, wow, there's a lot of you guys already in here. And I'm very, very pleased about that. But I haven't connected you guys up to this yet, so let me do that first. It's probably one of the last things I get to do because I don't get to see the chat room until I start streaming, of course. And once I can see the chat room, I can then add the URL into this thing, which picks it up. And if everything works, yay, there you go, you guys are there. She's sleeping on the lounge. Yeah, I'll grab her in a minute. It's just a Cavalier. It's a King Charles Spaniel Cavalier. And her name is Bonnie. Right. Wow, Sergio's back. Good to see Sergio. And also QRDNK, good to see you again. Nice to have you back. So what we've got here. We've got Native VS was first in. Inverted Popes. Good to see you, buddy. Prometheus UK, Martin Taylor, Wagoo, Paul Torbert, Human Error, QRDNK as I said before. Then some guy called Ranzee. Oh, that's me. Just kidding. F Rose, which is Eddie. G'day, Eddie. ASIO Head, which is Bert. Good on ya. This is Renz here. Good on you, mate. Who else have we got? Mr. Remark. Good to see Stephen there. And Sergio, as I meant. Kent's there. Big hello to Kent. And I think that's it just for now. So small sort of gathering for the moment. Yeah. Okay, so you guys, Sasquatch has just jumped in. You guys know this is the pre or the early show. It's big, massive, big, fat, long early show, whilst Daylight Savings is not with you guys, but with us. So in a couple of months, my early show will shrink. That's just how things are. I won't be streaming earlier. It's going to stay the same. If you are new here, please jump into chat and say hi, especially if you're someone who's picked up this post on a Facebook group, or I don't think I've tweeted this week, probably should tweet, or you found me on some other social media platform and you thought, who is this dickhead and what's he about? All we are about is just having some fun with some synthesizers and chatting about it, and it's really, really nice to have you. There's a big show. It sort of does crack on for a couple of hours, maybe even sometimes up to 3 hours. So I'm more than happy for you guys to come and go as you please. We kind of split it up into 3 sections if we can. The first section is more just a bit of fun, a bit of wiggling around with knobs and synths and things like that. It's more very pre-showy sort of stuff. We have some guests who arrive, they want to set up their mics and things like that happens in there as well. Then the main show happens at, if you're in the UK, it's 2 PM in the UK. If you're in my city, which is Perth in Western Australia, it's about 10 p.m, which is about an hour and a bit away. And then we'll see how we go after the main show. It usually takes a bit over an hour to do the main show, and then we can get stuck into which is what we normally call Saturday Sonority, which is basically chatting about a topic. This week I set the topic as an interesting one. I thought, what can you do with a single mono-synth? I think there's a lot of mono-synths out there. We tend to have lots of them. I've got too many, I think. There's actually one just over my shoulder here, a red one. There's one right in front of me. Yeah, so what can you do with the mono-synth as a topic? And I think we'll probably have a chat about that during the pre-show, but we'll definitely sink into that as a proper topic formally after the main show. So that's generally how we run with things. What else? There's a couple of weird newsy things this week. Some things you've probably already heard of, some things you haven't. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. There's a lot of these synth shows on that we all frequent. So Sonic State during the week, and then towards the end of the week you've got Pro Synth Network, and by the time you get to my show you've probably heard it all and read it all anyway. So I try not to go over the same ground too much because it kind of just gets a little bit yawny. Do you know what I mean? So we try and sort of offer a different opinion if we are going to cover something the same. If we don't, let us know. Tell us that we're in the wrong or whatever. I'm happy to get feedback, good or bad. Yeah, and we've got some funny memes as usual, and we've got some interesting price watch this week that Andy, who's Synth Addict, has given us. Some really, really interesting ones actually. What else? Name That Synth this week has been provided by Darren, none other than our resident guy who comes in on this show, Darren, or D.T.H. So that'll be a good one. I actually haven't seen it yet. Even though he's given it to me, I haven't watched it. I've tried to do the ethical thing. So yeah, that'll be good. And also, Eddie, who's F Rose in the chat now, if you see that, he's in the chat there, who makes a lot of the Name That Synth videos for us. And thank you so much, Eddie, for doing that. That's a really cool thing. He has got bragging rights. Boy, does he have bragging rights, because nobody guessed his Name That Synth. And he did a really, really good job of tricking us all last week. So what I mate, and well deserved to have some bragging rights. So it's almost like when you go to the casino and the house wins. It's never fun, is it? We want to win. We don't want Eddie to win. We don't want Darren to win. Anyway, I'm sure you guys will enjoy that episode. And back is another segment. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that segment is, but we have had it before. And if you've been a long-term watcher of this channel, you'll probably welcome it back. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll cringe. I don't know. But there is another segment that's come back, and I'm hoping to keep that segment regular each week. If time persists, and we've definitely got something that we can give you guys for that. So the main show is packed of segments. It's got one for funny side, two for news, price watch, and the other one. So yeah, 5 segments in the main show. That should keep you guys busy. What else? Okay, so what's been happening this week with me musically is I've been preparing for the show, so there'll be a bit of content regarding that. And yeah, these things do take a lot out of my life and my personal time. So hopefully you guys can see the effort that I've put in, and you're grateful for that. If not, if you don't like it, that's fine. Everyone's got their own opinion. Now, I did mention last week that we're not going to really touch Eurorack so much this week. We're going to be talking about synthesizers this week, and I think I have been doing a lot of Eurorack stuff. So, and I think a few of you guys are probably getting sick of it. So I don't know. Maybe you are. Maybe you're not. Look, Eurorack is something that I'm interested in, but I'm just as interested in synthesizers, and I just don't think I've given synthesizers enough love. So that's why we've done this topic about mono-synths, and let's start talking about it. But before we do, I want to talk to you guys about, let me just work something out here actually. I need to turn on something. Wait a minute. I've forgotten to turn on something. Give me a second. I'm just turning on my ATEM switching control software, which is just on the screen here in front of me. And if I don't have this, I won't be able to see something. There we go. Cool. Now I can see it. Right. So, do you guys remember this thing? Of course you do. It's not that old. The Arturia DrumBrute, right? The Arturia DrumBrute is quite... It was the first one that they brought out. So this was their analog drum machine. I actually really like this. I don't think the world liked it so much, and it didn't get as much love as the next iteration. I think the DrumBrute Impact was probably more liked. I don't know whether it's because the sound of the kick was different. They put a little bit more sort of overdriving effects and stuff like that in there. Not really sure, but one of the things that I liked about this one is it's actually kind of fully featured in the sense that on the back, every single one of those sounds has its own output. I can't remember if there's 15 or 12, or there's a lot of different singular outputs on this thing. And I got kind of thinking, I can control this with Pamela's new workout using the clock in. You guys can see probably just up the top, there is a, at the back, you'll see there's the clock in. Sort of right in the middle, you'll see like a purple cable plugging into that. The other thing I like about this too is all the outputs on the back are 3.5mm, and that actually really suits Eurorack. And Eurorack, let me just see if I can show you there's something here. If I go to here, and then here. So there is my Eurorack, one of my Eurorack skiffs, which you guys see every week. But just below it is the DrumBrute that we're just looking at, right? So the cool thing about that is I can put some of those sounds coming out of the DrumBrute into my modular, and I don't have to use a special cable to convert from 1/4 inch to 3 to 1/8 inch. And also I'm using Pamela's new workout module, which has there's actually an expansion module called the PX2 that you get with it. And the PX2 has a X24 output on it, and that beautifully works with the clock in on the DrumBrute, because that's one of the time signatures that it can listen to as a clock. So that really, really works well. And the other cool thing about it is that I can actually start Ableton over here, and it will start Pamela's, and that will automatically start the DrumBrute. So it's all hooked in some kind of bizarre way. So I'll just give you a quick example. That started straight away. So that's really cool. I've just pressed start on Ableton here. Haven't done anything special. Let's prove it to you. Is this? Yeah, this is it. So here's Ableton. If I press play on here, in fact, I'll press play here, right? There's my mouse on the play button, and I'll fade in really quickly so you can see it. And then I'll press stop, and it stops. Play, and it plays. I like that. I reckon that's really cool. So I'm not using MIDI. I may decide to use MIDI, but I may not. I actually think it's really cool. Anyway, going back to this view, the above view, one of the things that you can't do with the DrumBrute, which I think is really annoying, is you can't sort of save any patches of each one of those columns where all the different sounds are. You can't save any patches, so it's basically knob per function and leave the knob as it is, and that's how you've got it set. In a way, that's a cool thing. In a way, it's a bad thing. Depends on how you look at it. But from the point of view, from a Eurorack point of view, I kind of don't really care too much. I mean, obviously you'll sculpt the sound. In this case, you'll sculpt the sound to however you want it to sound. And then I'm going to patch it through, and then I'm going to make it sort of sound, go through some effects that I've got in here, or some other type of modulation or whatever. I've got all sorts of kind of things that I can chuck the DrumBrute into. And I mean, God, like what is it, 12, 13, 14, 15 outputs on this thing? There's a lot of sound generation in here, and it could all be sequenced to trigger at certain different events. Anyway, let's go back to what you guys might have been saying about the DrumBrute. Yeah, the build quality's nice, says Wagoo. DrumBrute looks more like quality parts. Let me say, I just missed what QRD in case said there. Go back. Where is it? God, it goes so quick. DrumBrute looks more like quality parts built in than today's plasticky. Yeah, it does. I think it is. One of the problems I've had with Arturia stuff over the past is their knobs become sticky because they use the cheap rubberized paint. I don't think the DrumBrute suffered from that though. I think they fixed that at that stage. But my Mini Brute, not Mini Brute 2, Mini Brute, the first one, suffered from it big time. And my Beat Step, not Beat Step Pro, but Beat Step, suffered from it. So a few, and also I think I had a Spark as well. So there was a few Arturia products kind of circa 2013, 2014, around there, that they were making, and they suffered from a few issues with quality, keyboard issues as well with the Mini Brute. But the newer stuff, the Mini Brute 2, I think we're pretty good now with Arturia. I think we're quite happy with them. Max saying he wants to go to Pam's. Human Error saying the Mini Brute 2S is very easy to use in your records. Yeah, it's great because it's got all of those patch bays up the top. I don't really have a need for it. I mean, but yeah, I can see there's definitely a cool thing. I've got a Beat Step Pro, and I've got a whole bunch of other things that, you know, like a Neutron and all that. I don't think the Mini Brute 2S would add anything beneficial to me. I do like them though. I'm not going to buy something just because I like it. I'm going to buy something because I need it. I'm trying to do that these days. It's hard, but I'm trying to. Where are we? Paul says he wants the big DrumBrute for the filter. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't really, to be honest with, I haven't really mucked around too much with that. But don't forget, there it is there. I'm much probably in the way, aren't I? The filter is underneath me. Yeah, so there's the filter there. Actually, no, it's not really. I'm not covering it. It's not bad. What I would like them to do the DrumBrute as you see it, but with the impact features as well, but also keeping the DrumBrute as they've got it here. So I reckon they could do it. I think then they've got themselves a really, really good drum machine. Maybe put a digital UI on the knobs. That'd be cool. That'd be cool if they did that. Anyway, where did we get up to? God, you guys are talking heaps today. The triangle is a good sign alternative. I think he's talking to someone there. Yeah. Catching up. Paul said he's got the impact. Yeah. Anyway, talking about the DrumBrute probably way too much than I thought I was going to talk about it. The other drum machine that's got lots of outputs on the back is the Behringer RD8. So I do like that as well. The only problem with the Behringer RD8 though is it's 1/4 inch outs. So I'll have to convert them or get a cable that's 1/4 inch. So yeah, anyway, that's that about the DrumBrute. So I just thought it was kind of interesting. Anyway, we weren't going to do any major sort of Eurorack today, but what I thought we'd do is let's get that DrumBrute. One of the sounds, I've just got one of the sounds going through this anyway, and I just want to see what it sounds like. So I think it's this one. It's very quiet. I don't know if you guys can hear that. One of the things too you can't do with the DrumBrute is you can't, with the individual outs, the master out doesn't work. Oh, there's level there. I don't know if, I think it might be normalized, the level on those individual outs. I'm not sure. Can I turn that up a bit? There we go, it's a bit louder now. I'll turn the bit crusher off. So that's the DrumBrute going through Eurorack effects. This is the tom sound. We could do a hat. Why don't we try a hat? You do a closed hat, see what a closed hat's like. Closed hats, where are you? Hats are down the bottom. What happened? It stopped. Why did it stop? Oh, stupid me. Wrong cable, guys. Hat is that one. Try like a snarey sound. Where's snare? Snare's down the bottom. There you go, 2 different DrumBrute sounds going through Eurorack. It's just an experiment. I just thought we'd try it for shits and giggles anyway. Let's get rid of them. Cool. No more DrumBrute for a little bit. Interesting little experiment anyway. But why don't we, while we're doing the sort of, I keep losing my camera. One of the things I don't like about this is I've got to click here. There we go. Why don't we play with this thing for a little bit? So, what I was going to do with this is, I've got some sounds happening on here. But what I might do is just kind of, I'll load a different Ableton project actually. I'll load this one. And I don't want to have anything. There we go, it's a bit louder for you guys. Right, so Slim Phatty. I'm going to use the Slim Phatty in my Mono-Synth. I'm going to use it all through the show because I just can't be bothered mucking around with all the others. But what I will say to you is that I do have a bunch of Mono-Synths around here. So Just in this room, I've got quite a few. You could probably see them behind me. There's a little mini, not a mini, but a SH101 clone called the MS101. Next to me down here is actually a Behringer Pro 1, which is not even plugged in at the moment. So there, Behringer Pro 1. That's a good, pretty good clone from Behringer, I would say, that one. And around the other side of the room, if I just turn my double vision off, I'll just move the camera. Where's the easiest way to go to a mono-synth? There, and then there. And there's a couple next to each other. There's the Sub 37, and next to it is the ARP Odyssey, which is the Korg ARP Odyssey. So they're both really, really good mono-synths. Very capable. In fact, they're actually duophonic, those two mono-synths. Both of them are, interestingly enough. They're very, very capable mono-synths, I think, for different reasons. I think the Sub 37 is a good modern take on a mono-synth. It's got that very, very good, cool sort of Moog sound, and it's very aggressive. It's got lots of overdrive features in it. But the believe it or not, the Sub 37 is just as capable. Let's wait for my camera to spin around. This thing is just as capable, I think. This one's based on a little Phatty. Okay, that's like the rack mount version of the little Phatty. If you're wondering, if you've never seen a slim Phatty before, this is just a module that you can actually get rack ears for, and you can mount them in racks. These can be daisy chained together, and you can actually make polyphonic synths and use these as voice modules. These days, I don't think that's kind of an economic thing to do, but back in the day when they brought the Slim Phatty out, there was quite a few people, I actually know a couple, that bought 4 or 5 or 6 of these, and they made 4 voice, 5 voice, or 6 voice, 2 oscillator, very aggressive sounding synth. And I kind of feel, I mean, this is just a quick review of this thing, but I kind of feel this synth has a bit of the Moog Taurus in it. I think it's definitely got a bit of the Model D in it. It's not really a Model D because it doesn't have the third oscillator, and there's a few other things that's different about it. It has a really kind of funky interface on it. This is something that you don't see a lot in synths. It's a digital interface. It's a patchable saving synth, which I like. I do like mono synths that you can save patches on. But these little rotary encoders, they kind of are weird. So how do I describe it? So basically, where the light is, it's got a catch-up mode with it. So you can see where it's set by, I should move my hand that way. You can see where it's set by moving the knob, but the light also is helpful, okay? But the catch-up mode, like for example, on this envelope, if I move that envelope, you'll see, I know I must have moved it already. If I go to preset here, yeah, here we go. So you will see, no, where's an example? Yeah, there you go. So if I go to preset, if I move this, how do I show it without blocking the camera? If I move this, you'll see it jump. No, you can't see it from there. Anyway, you believe me, it's a visual feedback on this thing. So you can actually catch to where the factory or the patch setting is, and then you can move it back out. Now I've got to put my patch back to what it was. There we go. Right. Probably one of the coolest thing about this is the overdriving of the filter, and it's huge. a real sort of there's some real beautiful sort of overdriven sounds on this, and it's a very mellow overdrive. It's not like it's not that massively aggressive, but when you couple that with syncing or doing a whole bunch of other sort of tricks, you can actually get this thing to really, really, really squeal. So anyway, enough about crapping on about this. Let's get that back to some sort of level. All right, so built into this is, like I said, you can't actually see that screen. I do apologize for that, but the lights just are reflecting off. You don't really need to see what's on there. It's just the patch name, the number, and whether your panel's active. There's a menu in there as well. We don't really need to worry about that too much for today's show. But I think what we need to do right now is pop on over to Ableton. When I'm talking about what can you do with a mono-synth, one of the things that you can do with a mono-synth is you can create clips of it. And in the later part of this show, I'm gonna show you guys, demonstrate what those clips can be done with and how you can manipulate them and things like that. We'll get into that a bit later, so there's a bit of a sneak peek with that. But what I will do right now is I want to kind of go through some patches on here, and I want to kind of, with you guys, I want to have you guys involved. Let's choose some sounds. Let's choose some percussive sounds. Let's choose some synthy sounds. Let's choose some effectsy sounds, like special effects type sounds. And let's get some variety happening. So I've already recorded this brassy sound, so that's done because I liked it. Oh, by the way, there's effects. Yeah, sorry, but we're not worried about what it sounds like without effects. I can turn the effects off though. Right, so let's try a few different things. Whoa, that is loud. I need to calm that down a bit. Sorry. Do I have an limiter on this? No. There is a limit gain on there. Okay, cool. I might turn it down here. I bet you there's overdrive on this. Yeah, so it's about 50% overdrive on that filter, which is why you're getting that growl. Lovely. Tell us what you think of that. Let's put you guys in some sort of weird position on here. I should get you guys to be split screen on this somehow. I can put you up the corner. I can't really see if I put you up in the corner. What about that? That's just too big. What about that? That's covering everything. What about that? It's still covering everything. Nah, I don't want to do that. Okay. We could split screen you somehow. Why don't we do, I've got an idea. I do have an idea. Instead of me being there, I am going to do this. Layers, number one layer will be you guys there. Wow, what happened then? Why did that get so big? And number two layer will be the, is it this? Yeah. did that get so big? That's weird. Oh, it'll work. Let's do that way. And then I can put me up in the corner. Hey, there we go. Cool. All right. So I'm keeping an eye on you guys. We are going to go through a few sounds. I don't know, what do you guys think of that sound? Awful? Down low, it sounds alright. Should we take some effects off so we can hear it a bit better? Mouse, mouse, mouse. Effects off. I think this is where it comes in. There you go, no effects. I don't know. Let's try this one. I kind of want some sort of percussive sound. What are they? I feel like that needs a release. That's reasonable. My computer's doing weird things. I hope it's not getting too hot in here. Anyway, because it looks like the chat is much, much more advanced below me than what I can see on this. I'm just going to refresh this browser. Hopefully it doesn't affect the stream. Ah, there we go. Okay, so. How low does this thing go? One of the things that's weird about the Slim Phatty is it actually has noise in here, but it's an absolute pain in the butt to get like a noise sound from like just the front panel. So you've got to kind of menu dive and muck around and stuff, but there is noise in here. You can hear it on this one. Anyway, the Resonance, yeah. This is kind of similar sounding. So this is using the mod wheel here to sort of become more aggressive. So let's just kind of listen to this. Kind of feel. Kind of got like a 90s, bit of a 90s bass sound with a sub sound. Yeah. So it's like a 90s sub sound, and then they've added this kind of noise to it. Not really sure about that one. I keep losing my chat. This is annoying. Can't run a show without seeing my chat. What are we going to do about this? I wonder if I pop it out, it works. Here we go. That seems to work, but I don't want top chat, I want live chat. Steak and kidney pie. Anyway, let us know once we get to a sound if you think, yep, I want that one in. We'll record that. All right, so now we've got a kind of like a bass drum sound. And we can obviously muck around with that tail with this release here. See, on my screen, I can see Wagoo's just popped a 5-pounder in. And on my chat, it's not showing me because it's being a biatch. What are you doing to me? Let's just do it that way. Let's see if that works. That's not even going to work for me either. I reckon my computer's playing up. God, I hope it stays okay for the stream. Anyway, thanks Wagoo for the 5-pound. Much appreciated. You guys can see it right there. The record company says we need more digital native dance. Wrong synth. Anyway, does anyone think we should put the... Anyone think we should put that sound in? Or should we go to the next one? I'm not really that keen on that one. It's a bit wet and sappy. I don't really know what I'm after, but kind of just happy for you guys to influence it. More sort of, what do you know? What sort of sound is that? Crescent said, good luck finding a hi-hat on that mono. Well, guess what? I have. But when I did it, this is a bit of a story. Okay, so Moog have software that you can use to edit the little Phatty and the slim Phatty. And I've actually got it installed on my M1 Mac Mini, but it obviously won't run because it is... Let me see if I can find it in here. I can't even remember what it was called. Sorry, give me a sec. I'll see if I can find it. It's either called Little Phatty. Yeah, there it is. It's got a big, like a, what do you call those things? Like a circle with a, you know, the thing through it over the app. So if I try to launch that app, it will won't launch on my M1. On my old Mac, which is sitting here somewhere, I can run it because it's got an older version of Mac OS on there. I think it's High Sierra or something like that. It will run on that. And in that little Phatty editor, you can get into the things that are really, really hard to access on the panel, plus also the menu diving. And I think there's a couple of extra features that the synth had that you can't access through anything other than the app. And one of them is kind of a whole bunch of noise / sample and hold, that sort of kind of funky stuff. And you can use a lot of that ring moddy, sample and hold, noise to sort of get you kind of in the hats territory. The envelopes are decent enough. They're not as quick as I'd like them to be, but they're decent enough. So we could, luckily for me, I recorded that as a clip, and I will put my hand on my heart and tell you that I definitely recorded it from the Slim Phatty, because there's actually a stream where I did that a couple of years ago and you actually saw me do it. So yes, you can get hats. Quijada. I probably could do a Quijada. What we need to do a Quijada is basically we need to modulate, we need to loop the envelope really, don't we? Or we need to put an LFO somehow. There is on this thing, is there CV in on this? There is CV in on here, I believe. Is it CV in? Yes, control input. So you can control volume, filter, CV, pitch CV, and keyboard gate with the CV input. So I guess you could probably put an external looping envelope into that, I guess, and that could do some sort of thing with the filter. Maybe, I don't know. That would probably be a little bit out of the scope of what we can do on this show though, but I could definitely have a crack at doing that offline. Well, I've never noticed there's a new feature on YouTube where you hover as a YouTube stream runner, you can hover over all of these comments and there's a bin, there's a timeout and there's a ban command. I've never seen it like that. It looks weird. I probably don't use the chat though, to be honest. It's probably been there for ages. God, it's hot in here. Yeah. What Wagoo's made a really good question. I thought the M1 was supposed to run x64 through the Rosetta. It's supposed to, but some things it just won't work. And I don't know why. So there's a couple of different ways I was looking at wanting to attack that. Number one is I could look at getting Parallels Lite and running another instance of Mac inside it and see if that gets me running some of the software that I want. The other option obviously is to run it on a different Mac, which I've still got. But the point is that eventually there's going to be people that are going to be raging at Apple for not letting them run their legacy apps. And that is an example right there. The Moog little Phatty editor, which cost me money to buy. It's not a free thing. And Moog won't, they've announced that they're not updating it. So they won't, put any more money into updating that, which kind of sucks. So, because there's plenty of little Phattys and slim Phattys out there that need to be edited. And one day someone's going to do what I did and realize that, oops, I can no longer edit my little Phatty. Don't get any ideas. Analogy sort of sound, that one. So it's a pitched sounding percussive sound. Who's that? Is that Two Shows Brooksy?
Yeah, it's me.
It's Two Shows Brooksy.
Two Shows bloody Brooksy. He can't keep his face off the bleeding internet.
You just wanted to rub shoulders with Martin and then like
Yes.
gloat about it on my show, didn't you? That's what you wanted to do.
What an unfair thing to say. Actually, last Saturday, I didn't know it was even I was gonna be on it. I didn't. Robbie asked me in the week, and I said, "Oh, I'm really not sure. Let me think about it." Yes, of course I will. Yes, a silly man. So yeah, he invited me sort of midweek, and I just said, "Yeah, of course. Thank you for even thinking about it." But yeah, that was really nice, and it was. I thought about it. I thought, should I go around telling it? No, I'm not. I'm not going to go around telling everybody. It'll look crass. So I didn't. So please forgive me that I didn't say anything. But I just thought, no, I'll just let the thing happen, and then because it was nice, it was lovely, and I didn't want to just come across as just like a. I was dead nervous, honestly, Ranzee. I didn't want to come over as a complete. Oh my word, it's Martin Ware. What am I going to do? But yeah, it was really lovely. It was lovely. It was lovely of Robbie just to Robbie and Ben just didn't think about it. Actually, I was really very touched by that. So more later, as they say.
Yes. Well, I'm glad you got a chance to. I mean, that's quite special, isn't it? Now
It was nice. It was lovely. That.
Let's sort this out a little bit better. There's only going to be 3 of us on today, so we can put the chatties in permanently today. So Darren will be on.
Yep. So I'll put that.
I'll leave the
chatty box.
I've got to keep refreshing my chat window because it just keeps like freezing on me. It's absolute crap.
Right. Well, I've got my visible panty line switched off, and I hope so. That hopefully means the internet will be okay. It seems to be been all right this morning, but
anyway, what we've been doing, I don't know if you've been watching it all, Mr. Brooks, is we've been going through the little Phatty.
Yeah, I spotted that.
Yeah, and I've just been asking the guys and the girls in chat if they liked anything that we'd come up with so far, like percussive wise, or even just synthy wise, or sort of sci-fi effects wise. Anyway, that's an interesting sort of sound. Like I said before, this synth has a lot of surprises in it. Like, you would not expect the Slim Phatty to be so aggressive sounding. Like, just to look at what you can do on the front panel here, there's nowhere on here that would let you into that, oh my God, this thing's going to growl like a, you know, possibly even like an acid machine, you know. Some really kind of interesting sounds. Analog snare, here we go. There we go. I bet you I can get a hat out of this, Mr. Cresshead. Here we go. All right, let's get no release happening. And let's dial down the decay. There we go. That's a good hat, isn't it? Who thinks that's a good hat? We could probably even make it more hatty, like.
A bobble on it.
Overdrive. Oh, it's really overdriven already. What's the... Yeah. It's definitely... Oh, this. Put a tiny bit of release maybe on the filter. There's a bit of a different sound there. There you go. Hat. Do it. See? Done. Hat. Space crash. Mr. Darren. Mr. Darren. Oh, there, everyone. There's Mr. Darren. All right, I think it's time we put some effects back on. Mainly because I said.
As good a reason as any.
All right, that one's pretty cool. Darren's got his big knob out, according to Agoo.
Muted, Darren.
Can you see it? I don't think you can see it. Oh, just. It's a very hazy one.
Well, unless Daniel's flown across the ditch and he's visited your house and he's talking about something else, yeah, you can just see it.
Just.
I've had enough of this smut.
Oh, I'm a bit. I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, you've been in the, in royalty show, Brooksy.
Oh,
and now you've got to come over to this show.
Bloody sight. Shit.
Come over to this show, and it's like taking a step into poverty. That's what it's like for him.
See, what you've done is you've just undermined everything I was planning to say. You see, actually, because what I was going to say is that actually those things. I mean, this week's been for that sort of thing. It's been slightly weird. For example, Tuesday night, you may not have seen, but Tuesday night, Kent Spong did an impromptu thing and just opened it up, and all sorts of people came into the chat on there, which was really lovely, including Richard Hilton. So I was actually chatting away with Richard Hilton as well for quite some time. I'm thinking, I'm chatting to Richard Hilton. I'm 1 degree of separation from Nile Rodgers. It's like, wow. And then obviously then doing the Pro Synth Network last night with Martin Ware, and I'm thinking all these things, all the fact that I could ring Kent up and say, "Hiya, Kent, it's Andy of Ranzee Show. Can you sort me prune out?" Has all come about really because of being on air, Ranz. That
can by you saying wow,
what it was me prune me. Oh, I can't do it the right direction, can I? There, that whatever direction I'm going to go in. There, that thing. There, me prune.
The Pro One.
Proone. It's a prune. Prune.
I thought you meant like anyway, right, prune is in there.
You can think what you like, Darren. Right.
The fruit.
Darren, did you meant to say testicles?
No, we didn't.
No, but I just didn't say. I just thought in prune out. I thought, it's some sort of fruit. I'm sure it is. Maybe the gardener too.
I absolutely have no idea how any of that's happened either, Brooksy. It's basically, there's just a really good bunch of people in the world that are into synths. That's all I can say.
It's just that step into this sort of wide. It's Robbie's just said it's a community. That's what it is. It's just great. It's lovely to feel part of it, and just enjoy. Absolutely love it. Love meeting up with people, in the flesh, online, whatever. It's just been great, and I am extremely grateful that opportunity has been there, and you're giving me that, saying, all right, we'll have you on. Way back in whatever it was, May 2020, something like that. 20 was it 21? Oh, it seems whatever. So that's it. Thank you very much. It is appreciated. I promise you.
It was effortless on my behalf, but yeah, okay, I'll take it.
Press that button. Oh, it's in.
No, we've loved having you on, and obviously we want you to stay. So all of that goes as we don't want you flying the coop like Lisa has. Hi, Lisa. Andy's dropped off the internet now. We've scared him. Look,
See what you've done.
He's frozen in time. Hey, look at that. That's an uneasy smile of degradation. Right. What did we get? Well, geez, we've just chewed up a whole hour already, mucking around with the Slim Phatty and trying to find. There you go. Brooksy's back. I don't know what happened then, buddy.
No, it keeps doing it. It's this. It's not the that stupid bit. I'm going to remove that off the bloody computer. It's doing me nutting.
Oh, the VPN.
Yeah, it's part of McAfee, which was the antivirus software which came on this computer. Robbie was saying last night that it was perhaps not the best thing on the planet, but I don't know enough about these things. It's why is one better than another? Well, anyway.
One of the things I've noticed about the Moog stuff is you have to detune the oscillators against each other. I think you just have to. If you don't, you're missing out on a whole world of coolness. So, but some synths aren't quite like that. It's like I kind of find like the Roland stuff. Especially with the Curtis chips, I kind of find the Roland stuff like the SH101 and that. Detuning them can sometimes be a bad thing. So it's nicer to have one oscillator an octave below and another oscillator. You know what I mean? Or a fifth, or I kind of feel they're more better at that.
Can't detune an SH101. It's only got one oscillator. You can't detune the sub.
Well, I mean, like the Curtis,
the system. System one. No, actually, you've got to.
Well, they sponsor you, should I say?
He is.
What's that? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I just said it's a Hyundai sponsoring you there. I just noticed with your Hyundai.
Oh no, that's a footy shirt.
All right, I could just keep seeing the Hyundai above me.
They're actually these are probably old sponsors.
Give you a count. You have to.
If you're wondering who that is, that's the football club there. They're called Carlton Football Club, and it's just an AFL football club in Australia. So getting back to what we were saying, I kind of meant the ones with dual oscillators. So I don't know. I'm probably talking out of my ass too. I kind of feel that with the Moog oscillators,
two Curtis chips. You're right what you're saying. That the Pro, if you have those two things absolutely bang in tune, you need to have them detuned for it to sound rich.
Yeah,
you have to, and it sounds wonderful when you do.
Even if with the Pro 1, I was showing it before actually, it's just sitting down here, my little Behringer version. I feel kind of, with that, I kind of feel the magic happens with syncing and all that kind of stuff with that. I kind of feel that's where the magic is with the Pro 1, the syncs. And the filter is also quite magical in that as well. I kind of feel that they're the kind of two things that really give that life. But yeah, anyway. We're going to talk about lots of mono-synths today. So,
I was miles away from the mic.
You were at least within 6 feet though, because that's about the limit of your room, isn't it?
That is true. I can actually have the mic at one end of the room and sit at the other. You still wouldn't know.
Just kidding. So let's do that oscillator thing, right?
Because I've got a small one, I've got to make them up.
Anywhere you put that sounds good. Let me just take those effects off because it's annoying me.
Sounds wicked there, Hans.
And it has a bit of a beat to it, even. Let's get some release on these. Oh, it's just, I mean, it's an analog synth. It's about as much you can do with this thing, but it's got a lot of little hidden gems in it. And it's not a show, it's just about slim fatties, but, you know, I just thought I'll use that because it's not exactly the most common mono synth out there. Yeah. All right. Everyone's ready. We're going to probably start the main show in a sec. I don't know. Someone's saying my chat's behind. I don't think it is.
It's behind you.
Oh, no, it isn't.
Everyone, look behind them.
Yes, it is.
Any
AVs as well.
Anything could go wrong, Martin, if you're wondering. Anything. The stream might not even be happening right now, for all I know. You know, a lot of people think there's kangaroos jumping out the front of my house right now, but there's not. I don't think I've seen a kangaroo.
I'm disappointed to hear it.
I don't think I've seen a kangaroo at least within about probably 20 or 30 kilometres from here. So they're not anywhere
in
near.
Australia if you haven't got a kangaroo in your back garden. God, blimey.
You don't want to have a kangaroo living in your back garden.
No, you don't.
It's similar to like saying I want to have a cow living in my back garden.
Yeah, exactly.
The only difference is that the cow has a massive big tail and it can jump and it can smack you with the tail. So yeah, you don't really want a kangaroo. They can be pretty aggressive, those things.
Yeah.
But no.
Oh, no, it's not.
I don't set your video to 1.25. Someone said that to me once. Like they listened to one of my tunes, and they said, "Oh, your tune sounds so much better at 1.25 speed." Oh, thank you very much. If I wanted it at 1.25, I would have done it. Check the BlueARP room, please, says Oleg. There's a big announcement. Ooh. Okay.
Ooh.
I'm checking.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay. No worries. Oleg, I will let everybody know. I'll do that in the news section, actually. That's a pretty good piece of news for you to announce. Bit of an exclusive there. Cow tipping, yeah. We could do kangaroo tipping. They're a bit hard to tip, though. A bit like this football team. They're a bit hard to tip as well. Anyway, jokes aside, we are going to probably... I think we should start a little bit early. What do you think? A little piss people off. All the OCD people will be like, you started before I got here. How do you do that? You advertised it too. That's what they sound like, don't they? All the Karens. You believe that's a square wave?
Yeah, with a shed load of modulation.
Oh, everything sounds good with Black Hole, doesn't it? Okay, just give me a sec. I'm going to see if I can find this one for Darren.
Ow!
There's another hi-hat. Oh, sorry, guys.
God. Oh, I see. That's it. Definitely. That's it.
No, I'm going to try... Ooh.
Oh. We are getting on, I think. Look, even Andy's just froze with that noise. He thought he was having an hearing test.
I've cracked his internet by sending a very high-pitched squeal into it.
It's one of those old modem styles.
No, we need to pause on this. This is Andy's face when he listens to my album.
Yeah, thanks, Ranz. Yeah. Next week's meme will be... Yeah, all right.
Oh, I can't.
Well, you could say this with
that
though, saying, "Well, there at least he's listening to your album."
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn the reverb off. Listen to this, guys. This sounds so much like a 303. Not bad for a Moog, sounding like a 303. Anyway, thought I'd show you that. Right, let's do this button. Hey, main show time. Hello. I don't even know why I do like a second introduction. It's kind of weird. But I just know that there's people that have joined us now because the numbers on this thing say to me that there's a lot more people watching than there were when I started streaming about an hour ago. Anyway, if you've just joined us, a big hello. We've started about 3 minutes early. So for all those people that are going to be here in 3 minutes time, nah. Anyway, other than that, nice to have you here. Nice to have Darren here. Big hello to you, Darren.
Your fans down. Good day. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah, we can.
Hello?
Yes, we can.
That's all right. I thought I got my mic switched down. Oh, there we go. That's fine. Yeah. Hello. Good day. It's cold and windy over here.
Yeah. It's hot and still over here.
Yes. I've had a very busy week, actually. I've been doing lots of work, lots of writing for stuff to go out for a track tomorrow, which is a very emotional track tomorrow. So if you're feeling sad, it's an emotional, thoughtful track. So I want you to all share it tomorrow. If you listen to it, please.
Yes.
I think it could be very sad. Depends on what mood you're in. So if you're feeling a bit low, don't shed a tear. Secondly, writing stuff for the people who I said I was going to send it out to on Bandcamp. I'm still stuck on one or two of the remix parts of the tracks yet, so they're coming along. I came in the studio the other day. I had a racket going on, and Rave was working on his album, and he was working on he was working on the track "What's a Volca." What's a Volca? But he was playing a harmonica. I told him that the harmonica was not a Volca, as he deliberately smacked me in the face and shut the door on the studio. So I left him to it. So I'm not sure what sort of track that's going to come out like, but yeah. So yeah, it's been quite a hectic week.
Oh, good old Dave. Keeping everyone happy in the house is he. It's like having...
smacking them in the face.
Yeah. It's like having a toddler, isn't it? Actually,
You're telling me, yeah.
You guys wouldn't know. All right. Big hello to Two Shows Brooksy. How are you, mate?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. All right. Okay. Enough said. Right. That's it. I'm not doing any more of these. That's it. I'm off. Right. Yeah. What a week. What a totally bizarre week. And unlike Darren, I've not done anything with music, which makes me feel extraordinarily guilty because I've got new boxes and new things and new toys, which I've hardly had a chance to even switch on, only because I've been sitting here smearing my face all over the internet. And it works. Work. Sensible work has been not sensible. We've had an inspection, and that's been hard work and always dead stressful and causes lots of late nights and stuff. But and then obviously during the week, I mean, Kent did his little pop-up thing on Tuesday, and that was fab. Really enjoyed that. That was just really enjoyable. So yeah, please keep doing that, Kent. It's fun. And then obviously last night with Pro Synth Network, that was a real special treat, and I'm very grateful to Robbie and Ben for inviting me on, because it was nice to do. And yeah, meeting a hero. I feel like I've met him now. Was an extra special treat. And I've got a target to meet, and I've done nothing about it, because there's an agreement between me and Inverted Popes and Cresshead to get an EP out before the end of February.
Ooh.
Of new material. So I've got to do that. I've got to live up to my. I mean, Mr. Popes, he just does it like he just does it because he's ace, right, and clever, a bit like Darren. He can just go boom, and it's amazing. For me, it's a process of a lot of pain to get anywhere with anything that sounds halfway decent. So, because I don't have the talent, you see, so I have to work hard at it. So now that this inspection's out of the way, and I can come home and just switch off, I'm going to be getting into it, because you've got some lovely new little things up here which I really want to get my head into, and I think they're going to be amazing. So that's my job. So
well, good luck, because it's definitely
So
going to be
I'll
definitely going to be something that we'll look forward to. That's for sure.
Well, it's about time I pulled my thumb up from up my own butt and actually did something that with this gear that it was actually designed to do, rather than just me play about with the bleeding Mellotron on the MPC forever because I love it so much. It's about time I did something sensible. Yeah, so I've got to do it now. Now I'm actually saying it out there. I've got to do it. So it's like it's going to have to be a track a week, and then up by February the 28th.
All right.
So, is it a leap year this year? Do we get an extra day in February? I have no idea if we do or not. Anyway, that's the end of February. I've got to do that.
Is it a leap
And
year?
like Ben said, yeah, have a target and a commitment and I've got to do it, and they'll shout me gob off. So
I think it's a normal year. So you've got 28 days.
Oh,
yeah.
So I've got a day less. Damn.
All right. Well, that sounds really, really cool. I like setting goals. Goals are good. I
think that's right. I mean, just coming in and noodling is just is fun, but it's part of a learning process. But it's not. I think I need to focus it properly. So there we are. Yeah. Cresshead's nagging me now. Thanks, Cressy. We'll do it.
I set a goal to release an album about a year ago, maybe even longer than that. And I finally got off my butt and did it. Yeah. So that's actually pretty good for me.
I've been listening to it in the car this week. It's been great. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, enjoyed that a lot. And Darren's been listening to that one. And I like having a long journey to work because it allows me to just sit and listen to the stuff and really enjoy it and immerse myself in it.
I think the new world of music is kind of these discoveries. That's kind of what it is. But just to give it a little plug, because it is my show, if you haven't seen it before, this is the new album. It's called Significant Bit, and it's out on Bandcamp or all your stupid streaming platforms. You can even buy a cassette. Even though it's got a picture of a cassette, you can buy an actual cassette as well. They're available if you want to support me and what I do here. I do apologise in advance if it does hurt your ears. Other than that, let's get stuck into the main show. Saying hello to the chatties is a good thing to start with. Hello, chatties. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you here, and it's always good to see such familiar people joining us every single week. I absolutely think that's amazing. It's so good to have that sort of that community, as Robbie was saying earlier. You guys are awesome, and once again, thanks very much for being part of the show. Let's get stuck into things because we've got a big show to go ahead. Let's start with some fun. Well, few things make me laugh, but believe it or not, stupid memes do. And I don't know why. I get a bit silly with these things. And here's the first one. Let's make this a little bit bigger so you can see it a bit closer. Yes. Now, top 3 jokes that was said when this image appeared. I wonder what the ping pong effect was like, was the first one. You think of, I can't think of any more. But yeah, if you're into pure MIDI and you need a good platform for it, well, this will net you a good table for that. I don't know. Anyway, we'll start with that one for the day. How about this one? My son has been eating electrical cords. What do I do? Ground him until he conducts himself properly. It's got nothing to do with sense, but I just thought that was brilliant.
No, that's good.
That was brilliant. Yeah. Okay.
I got one for the table tennis table, so my internet went dizzy again. I was going to say the ribbon controller's in the wrong place.
Yeah. Yes. It is. Good one. This one came up quite frequently. I think we might have even shown this before. Karen, she's a speaker manager. You can range the tone. You've got don't use that tone with me button and bring me to the manager, which I think gets pressed quite a lot. Yeah. So that pedal might come in use, especially if you've got a Karen at your gig at the pub. This one's probably a bit more synth related. So I do apologise for the non-synth related ones, but look, I love this one. This is so cute. Finally, someone's found a use for the tiny little sliders on the boutiques.
Yeah, that's good. That is good.
It's a good one.
Yeah, they're not that tiny on that JU.
Yeah, they're not so bad on there.
It's
the Jupiter one that's the bad ones, isn't it? It's the Jupiter one. Yeah. All right, favorite meme, gentlemen and chatties. Tell us what your favorite meme was.
Oh, the little fingers.
Yeah, since it was synth related.
Yeah. There was a lot of stuff that I could have put on there that's synth related, but those other ones, the first one, MIDI synth related. First one kind of got me laughing a bit, I think, probably. Yes. Yes, cool. Right, well, chatties are saying, haha, brilliant, cool. I'm glad they like it. Let's go to news. Should we do that? Yes. Yes, you've reached news, and this week we've got some very cool things to start you off with. There's a couple of little cute things here. The nanobox from 1010 Music. There's a couple of these things. I'm going to show you both. So the first one is the Lemondrop. This is this one. And why don't we play the intro video for them? Let me just get myself set up. I shouldn't have gone so quickly into news, should I? That was a bit silly of me.
That's because you started 3 minutes early.
We'll wait for you. We'll wait for you. Right, well there it is, the nanobox. There's a nice fancy looking marketing introduction. They've spared no expense. Guys, let me tell you a little bit about them first before we start chatting. The Lemondrop one, which was this one. Hey, come back. That one is a like a granular sort of synth type one. So it's basically, it features 2 granulators, a single oscillator. For sound shaping, you get 2 multi-mode filters, effects section, 6 effects in total, including flanger, distortion, chorus, phaser in the effects part. The second, you can choose from delay and reverb, and there's also a modulation section where you can inject the movement of your sounds. It has 2 envelope generators, 2 multi-wave LFOs, a modulation sequencer, which is actually pretty cool. I think you saw that in the video. The latter can be useful for creating rhythmic elements. So yeah, that is €449. I think I saw it for a bit cheaper somewhere else, 399 US or so. I don't know, I'm not sure exactly where I saw that from. So that's the Lemon one. And then the other one is this one, which is the red one. And the red one is called the Fireball, the Nanobox Fireball. And this one is kind of like an 8-voice polyphonic wavetable synthesizer that consists of 2 wavetables, a single oscillator. It's known to I think kind of what I saw about this was it's actually quite a nice little touch screen on there, and you can muck around with stuff like that. But you can do things like FM wave shapers and touch and knob operations can be assigned. I just kind of thought it was actually kind of cool, like just a couple of little things.
There's only 2 knobs.
You can sign stuff to it. Get off the screen. Right. So, guys, have you guys seen this before? It was talked about on Sonic State, so it shouldn't be unknown to everyone.
I do like the video though, where he sits at home, with the 2 little tiny nano boxes in a circuit. Does his little, comes up with his ideas, whittles off in the car, still playing it, and then gets to a huge studio and sits there with the 2 little nano boxes and the flipping circuit where he could have just said, "I'll send them over by files and we'll do it." It's just what? But I do like the idea of him. It's just why do they do that? Who's going to do that?
I think marketing people do have very, very inventive ideas, don't they?
I know. It's like it's not going to happen over here. It's like, yeah, but I do like him. I quite like him, but I think I can't remember. It might have been Wagyu said that they're sort of going into the sort of area of the pocket operators, but with a better. Oh no, it was Grey Wolf. Pocket operators, but a nicer look and a nicer. But 440 odd pounds. I don't know. If they were starting to make them at 150 or something, like I think Inky said, then yeah, you can see buying a couple of them and that'd be great. But 449 MPC ones, not far off that. And I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
cost-wise.
Exactly.
Completely agree with you. But let's get Andy's thoughts.
Yeah, well, I hadn't seen much about them. I'd seen sort of the snippets on Sonic State. I'd seen other videos, but I've not had a chance to sort of watch them. I've watched quite a bit though about 1010 stuff, and the conclusion that I come to is it's all great. Any one of their things you could cheerfully give house room to, but it's not cheap. I mean, the one thing the bit box, the sampler, it comes as a standalone box, or you can put it in your Euro rack, and there are slightly different versions of it, and they're good. It's about £500, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'd love one of those in my rack. And then I just looked at the MPC and went, don't be a silly arse, Andy. Why? No, don't buy something that you already have got can do quite cheerfully. So I love the idea of them. I really do. I think they sound great. I mean, the thought of getting massive sounds like that are those dinky little boxes. But then again, there are dinky boxes that sound massive. However, I also think the world needs more of these dinky little boxes. I think it's great. And somebody out there will go, well, there is that, but there'll be somebody out there who goes, this is just what... Now, actually, speaking of the park bench, are they battery powered? I can't remember. I missed that. Can they be battery operated?
Yeah, I think they are battery operated.
Good question.
Well, there you go, Darren. Everything you want in one little red or yellow box.
Yeah, but you put it in a pocket, you stand up and it falls out. It's that small. I mean, they're not built like a mobile phone, are they?
Who knows? Yeah. Well, anyway, I think I like the idea. I really do. I think they sounded, well, at least on that demo, they sounded great. But who's going to put out a demo where things sound terrible? Well, we've seen one or two of those in the past, haven't we? But it sounded amazing. I thought they sounded really good. But
what the hell's happening
not
there?
for 450 quid.
There we go. I don't know why that just went all
Yeah,
black.
I mean, if it's about the size of a bit bigger, I'm always obsessed with bigness. If it's a bit bigger though, so you can actually put it on your desktop. You know what I mean? Because it's like say it's very portable, small, and then with a touch screen as well. Oh yeah, yeah. I just think it's just overpriced. I mean, it might be a great tool, but overpriced for people like me anyway. And probably most of the people would be wanting to take it to the big studio that they've obviously got. No, I think the USB part. I think he said.
Oh, well,
which then makes it more awkward.
That limits it quite a lot, unless you've got,
because now you've got to carry a
little
USB
phone
pack around.
Phone pack, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Darren,
that's probably why I have to wait to get to the studio.
You could come up a little bit in volume, according to Eddie. Apparently, in the chat, he's just saying if you could come up tiny bit, a little bit less.
Better?
little bit less than that.
It's always there. How about that?
Yeah, that's good. Let's leave it at that. And if I need to bump you down, I can. Cool. All right. I kind of thought that they were a little bit funky, but I really think they'd sell massive amounts of these if their price wasn't set at what it is. If the price right now just seems to be, can you reimburse me for all my R&D at the same time cover my mortgage payments and help me afford to buy a Lamborghini? That's the price that they're asking for these things right now. Those things would cost them hardly anything to actually manufacture.
Well, they've put the 1010 box, haven't they, and just shrank it basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet all the software and firmware and stuff's almost identical.
Yeah. Yeah. Some good comments coming through in the chat. I'm just adding them to the queue, and I just need to.
So I think Martin in the chat. I think he's got the bit box. I think he has. Maybe I might be talking rubbish there.
Yeah, so Wagoo just said if it was 400 for both, it would be more logical. I agree. Definitely agree.
A Hydra, well, the Hydra Synth Explorer is only about 560 or something, isn't it?
That's also true.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good consideration as well.
We've also, I think we've all established that I think we could get something better for less. And even for slightly more, we could get something better. Why don't we go?
It's one of those little things, isn't it? That you go, oh, that's great. Oh, yeah. And then after about half an hour thinking about it, you go, actually, no, it's not actually.
Yeah, it's one of those things. If they do start bringing them down in price, I think they'll probably start selling more of them. Anyway, let's check this out. So what you're seeing here, this is the analog FX SER 2020, and basically what this little baby is kind of a redo on a synth that was around in the 80s, I think. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But what you're looking at here is, I just wanted to show the video where it shows the MPE support on this thing, because he used the Rolly seabed and you were seeing him control with the vertical movements of the Rolly, which shows that it has MPE support. There's not a lot of synths that actually come out that have MPE support, which I think is a bit of a sad thing, and I don't know why, but please, if you're making synths out there and you're watching my show, I think one of the biggest things I would like you guys to do is embrace all the MIDI facets, MPE being a massive part of that. Anyway, what is this? It's a pretty, in terms of the synth itself, it's a pretty cool little mono-synth. There's not sort of anything majorly groundbreaking in that sense, apart from the fact that it's remaking its historical 1980s version. But the fact that it's got MPE support obviously makes it a little bit more special. Let's talk about the synth itself. It features a 2CM3340 based VCOs, triangle, sawtooth, square, pulse, PWM. Sync comes on both. You can, it's got a unique filter, which is based on the original one, but they are CEM filters, so it's a combination of 24 dB per octave VC, low pass filter, and 2 independent resonant VC peak filters. So the filter of this thing is kind of its specialty in a way. So I kind of
show it again?
Yeah.
Because it went by really quickly. I didn't really get. Is it a copyright video? Is that why it went so fast?
Oops.
And I sort of.
It's the black one.
So, right. See, that looks analog effects. That looks. I've seen nothing about that. Somebody said, "Is that Mr. Vincent? Was Robin Vincent showing it?" I don't know. Wow. And Wagyu said, "Is it a Syrinx clone?"
Yeah, so it's a Synton Syrinx synth in the 80s, around 83. Right. So it is a clone of that. So that if anyone actually has, sorry about it covering up your face there, Darren, but yeah.
I asked. Sorry, Darren.
Yeah.
It looks fab, though.
It is. And the fact that it's a desktop module, I do believe you can Euro-rack it as well. So I didn't actually read that much. The little thing, so go back to that picture again. The little thing, on the left-hand side, I'm kind of interested in what that's all about. The little platey looking thing. What is that? So I forget where it was written.
Do you tap it? That's weird.
Yeah. Anyway, talking about the touch and bend, on the left-hand side, it can be assigned. So it's a touch and bend thing. So it can be assigned to the VCO, VCF, VCA. It allows you to control expressively. The function was a highlight of the Synth Syrinx.
They're like little push buttons, aren't they? On that you can see there's like a gap, so you can like push them up and down. Oh, that's interesting. Never seen something like that before.
Yeah, I be honest with you guys. I've never actually seen the Synth Syrinx synth. Not that I remember anyway. So this is kind of really, I'm discovering this for the first time. So, and that's one of the cool things about some of those weird old-fashioned synths that never really got massive traction in the day. But yeah, one of the things that really rocks my boat on this, guys, is that get off the screen. Is that this has kind of got a Pro One-ish sort of flavour to it, right? But at the same time, it's got a slightly different edge on the filter. So you'll kind of get, Pro One sort of features, but at the same time, you'll get completely weird, different filtering, formatting type sort of sounds out of it, which I think makes it very, very interesting. And it fits right into today's topic because it's a mono-synth. So really, really interested in this. Let me just finish one more thing. It is €975 and it will be released in February. So do check out Analog FX. I'll put a link in the chat if you guys want to see anything more about it. Yeah, Andy, you wanted to say something?
I've just done a search and there's some really nice pictures out there of the Syrinx. I don't remember. I'm sure I must have seen this before, but so I've just saved a picture. See if I can
bring it to me. Yeah.
How to whiz it over on
whiz it to me on USP. On the USP.
There we go.
I think it's a decent price, $975 for what it is. It's modular. It's a recreation. It has modern features. It's got a hell of a lot of patching. Let's go back to that. Sorry, I'm showing Brooksy's face there, but you can see all the patch points across the bottom. That is awesome. So if you've got Eurorack, that's going to come in really, really handy. I don't know. It really just kind of reminds me of the Behringer version of the Pro One. Like if I show you this, it's kind of similar, right? With all these patch points across the top. Like if you flip that upside down, it's a similar thing. Have another look.
It did look like it looks like one of Robin's shirts, doesn't it? It does look a bit.
Oh, the video is. You want to know who did the video? Sorry, I've got fan blowing into me. That's actually the video by themselves. Analog FX. I don't know if Robbie has rings on his finger, but anyway, yeah, I don't think he does. So yeah, could be just like one of Robbie's Robin's mates. Anyway, that is the. Darren, do you want to say anything about that one? Because I know you kind of like that sort of stuff as well.
I'm not really sure what to add to it really, because I've never seen the old, was it 80s original or what they've cloned it off. So I don't really know. I'd have to look into it more and listen to it a lot more. But like you say, it's got the MPE, which not many synths these days seem to have, which is interesting. And someone's just stood on the foot.
No, I've just got the picture from Brooksy, and now that I've seen this picture from Brooksy, I'm like, yeah, I've seen the synth before. So I'm just going to drop it into here, and you guys are going to see it. So this is what the original one looks like. I have seen this before. I now remember seeing this. I actually really like the look of the original one too. That's actually really, that would have been a pretty cool looking synth for the, like, what did they say, 1983? That would have been
a lot of cool looking.
That would have been amazing for 1983. That looking synth. That would have been, lots of people would have been jumping on that for sure. I'm surprised that thing wasn't as popular as like some of the classic ones we talk about. Tell us a little bit about it in the chat, guys, if you know why. Why was that synth not so popular? What was the deal with that? What was the deal with the old one?
No idea. Rant,
did anyone fake
get
choose
that
one?
picture?
Sorry, Brooksy?
Did you get that picture? Because my internet seemed to go wappy again at the point when I was.
I just showed it.
Posting. Oh yeah, right. Okay, yeah. So that was it.
Yeah. Does anyone,
again,
any famous band or famous person use one? Does anyone know?
Aphex Twin. Andy said something about Andy Synthetic said something about Aphex Twin, but again, no idea really. Interesting. Yeah, it's like, what happened to that?
Kent,
where did that one disappear to?
Kent said it broke down a lot.
Right, well, there's a man.
Oh, well, that's fine.
So what happened to my little thingo? There. Okay, we are done with that. I think that's going to be something that a lot of us will keep an eye on. That is for sure. Right, next thing is news that everyone's been talking about through all the shows this week, but like I always say, I don't want to not talk about this because I think it's actually worth talking about, and that is this.
No, you weren't listening to an orchestra, but one person sitting at the keyboard of this truly wonderful instrument of the 60s. The sound you heard was only one of the thousands of combinations which are at your fingertips. What a thrill to have a complete rhythm section at your command with one finger. Listen to one or two of them. First, a samba.
Oh yes, let's.
Tally ho, chaps.
Oh my. Wow.
Anyway, we get the idea. Beautiful, beautiful job by Dave Spears and Chris over at G4 Software. Very, very cool job. I know Dave was talking about another guy that was helping with the development of that. Just for the top of my head, I've forgotten the guy's name. But yeah, I think a lot of people will be jumping on to getting this as a VST. It's there's a few Mellotron type VSTs out there. The one that's on the Akai Force and the Akai MPC Live is actually pretty good. God, this thing is amazing compared to that though. The amount of stuff that's in this is incredible. Now, Brooksy, I know I did have a listen to your comments yesterday. Well, it wasn't yesterday for me, it was today on the ProSynth show. You're more than welcome to reiterate them here. Or are you paused?
No, he's decided not to.
Okay.
He just doesn't want to do that.
He'll come back. Darren, we'll go to you for now. I actually couldn't see.
Well, G4, well, you know, G4 software always make really good stuff. So, I mean, it's not for me. I'm not a Mellotron fan, really. So, but it sounds brilliant and bizarre. I think it's. I mean, you can find it. You can find it sneaking away into a track, but it wouldn't become my mainstay. But yeah, I think it's cool, and they make good stuff, G4. So.
Yeah, we haven't got Brooksy back yet. I think for me, the Mellotron has kind of carried through for years. And I think there's reasons why it has, like it's been in famous tracks that we all love, but it's carried through. And I think one day someone's going to make the Mellotron like absolutely brilliant again by doing something like they did with the TB303. They put it through a distortion pedal. But you know what I mean? Like someone will do something brilliant with the Mellotron. Maybe it's this, maybe because it's now in a really good VST format that you can really manipulate. Maybe that will open doors for it. I don't know. The original that had the tapes in it, there was a bit of a kind of charm to that sound. Like I've always been a fan of cassettes and tapes, and I've always liked the sort of flutteriness of the sound that comes out of them. Even VHS videotapes have that sort of sound where it kind of wobbles a bit. You know, it's not perfect. It's not like a crystal.
That wow and flutter type.
Yeah, that wow and flutter. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. That could be part of it. It could be that sort of imperfections about it, and the fact that you kind of have these really, really vintagey sounding sounds coming out of it, don't you? I mean, that was a crack up, that video. Well done to Dave and the crew. We'll wait for Brooksy to come back, but we need to keep going because there is one other bit of news to announce, and that is you guys remember... Oh, here's Brooksy now. Before I go to the next bit of news, Brooksy, we were just talking about the Mellotron from G4 Software.
Yep.
Now, I know I know you had a chat about it yesterday on the ProSynth show. More than happy for you to reiterate what you said there.
What I said, yes. I've never bought a plugin. I've downloaded some plugins, but I've never bought a plugin. But I could be seriously tempted by this because I am so seriously impressed by that on the... Where's my finger going? There on the MPC. It just sounds fantastic, and I actually would like more because the MPC plugin is limited to the obvious Mellotron sounds, the classics, you know, the flutes, the choirs, the strings, and so on, and that's your lot. It would be nice to see what it's like with other things. So although that video was deliberately sort of cringe-worthy, actually fabulous.
Oh, we just lost him. Ah, bugger. And he makes that little pop sound. I don't know what the hell that is. That's weird. That's a weird sound, that one. It has nothing to do with my end, by the way.
It just falls over
his internet just... His internet just explodes. We'll come back to Andy. Really do apologise, Andy, if you're having trouble with your internet. It's definitely not anything my end, by the way. Right, okay. The next bit of news is from Oleg, who brings out the BlueARP, and he's now making the BlueARP VST that we've known for years. It's an arpeggiator type VST, and as you know, there's been a prototype for the hardware version of it now in the mix for, geez, it's been at least a couple of years that I've had it, and a lot longer than some of the other people have had it for. The good news today is he has announced that BlueARP desktop module, or BlueARP DM, he calls it, sales are now open. The version will be available for $730 US plus shipping, which is a little bit under $50 for shipping, depending on where you are in the world. He's going to post a video on his channel in the next few hours, and the packaging is ready. He has a few units ready to be shipped right now. So if you guys haven't subscribed to his channel, make sure you do. What was the other thing I was going to say? There are only a few available right now, so they will rush out very, very quickly. White ones will be available in a couple of months, hopefully, and he's decided to drop the price a bit that he initially was going to, but it's probably the lowest he can go considering all the expenses and the fact that it's custom made. Now this device, I'll just go grab it so we can show you. One second. Here we go. This is the blue one. Let me put my headphones back on, waiting for Brooksy. Brooksy's kind of not back yet. Right, so this is what we're talking about. This is the BlueARP DM, the desktop module, okay? You guys can have a look at it there. It's got lots of MIDI input and output. It's also USB based, and it also has CV connections on the side as well, which are 1/4 inch. I don't know if he's going to change that to 1/8 inch, but yeah. Now, the whole thing is made by hand. It's not made in China. It's not assembled in some really cheap factory where it's been outsourced and put in. He makes them all by hand. Everything's done to a really, really good quality. Knowing a little bit about what Oleg does, he's very, very good at what he does. And yeah, if you can get onto that as quickly as you can. I am going to play a little video. Let me just quickly grab the thingo. Sorry, because this is all very, very last second.
He's included the 3.5mm converters, Ranz.
He does. He does include the converters. I did forget to mention that. I got them. Okay, let's...
So, in short, BlueARP is a 8-channel arpeggiator/step sequencer. It can run up to 8 independent arpeggiators in parallel. It has pretty a lot of ports. Let's go through them. USB-B is for power, but also transfers MIDI over USB, so when connected to a computer, BlueARP is recognized as a class-compliant USB MIDI device. USB-A is to connect MIDI keyboard or MIDI controller. There are DIN5 MIDI inputs, 2 MIDI inputs, 4 MIDI outputs. We also have voltage for voltage outputs, which basically form 2 CV gate pairs, voltage input to feed pulse clock into BlueARP, or maybe in the future audio beat detection will be.
Let's do, we'll go to Marshall's little example here. This is actually pretty cool. Big shout out to Marshall if he's around. It's just a quick video showing. Oh, there's Buggerlogs. Don't worry about him.
I've just got it set up.
Rightio. There's the news about BlueARP. You guys can go check out that video on Oleg's channel. I'll just give you guys a link to his channel on YouTube now. Let me paste it into the chat. Hopefully this paste's working, because I'm copying it from a Mac to PC over a thing called Synergy. Right, hopefully that link's working, and I haven't linked you to some porn channel by accident or something. No, I'm just joking. Right, guys, what do you think about that news? That's pretty good news. We've been waiting for that one to come out, and you heard it here first as an exclusive, by the way.
Yeah. Well, what can you say? It's great news for him to get them out, and it's a great device. So if you can afford one, snap them up because, like you say, he's only got
Yeah,
a couple
indeed.
to start with, or a few. So yeah, get onto his page and start getting your BlueARPs.
Yeah. Now there is another link I probably need to give you guys, and that is the website. AMG. God, what is it? Oleg, paste me the link to your new website. I've forgotten what it is in Discord, and I'll paste it in. Once I get that off of Oleg, he's watching, so he'll do that in the next 10 seconds. I'll paste it into the chat so you guys can go straight to his proper website where he's got everything all ready to go. You guys can check it out. Right, there it is. Got it ready. See, he's quick, isn't he?
Can I ask, am I actually back or not?
Yeah, you're back.
I can see myself in the vMix, but...
Yeah, you're back.
Sorry, that was a case of go away, switch everything off, and switch it all back on again. So, sorry about that.
That's all right, mate. No problems.
Hopefully it'll be better now, because that was just getting my...
Yeah, don't stress. It's all good. All good. We've finished everything with the news anyway, so we can close all that stuff down. Okay, cool. Right, next segment is Price Watch. This one. Hey, there we go.
Fine, I'm quite a way out. Looking back.
Oh, it's a couple of seconds out. It's not too bad. Right, this has all been done by Synth Addict. He's brought these ones in. I reckon these are, like, he just finds some amazing stuff. We'll start with this one. And let me just make this bigger, sorry. This is an Axis, or the Axis. It's a 192 prototype C through Axis 64. And it's kind of a bit of a, I don't know how he's justifying 120 grand. And then, well, actually it was 200. This is US dollars, 200 grand, and then he put an $80,000 price drop on it. Oh my God, some of this stuff is crazy. Yeah, so that's kind of like a fairly unique thing, but I don't think it's 120 grand fairly unique. Anyway, we'll go to this one. This is the Black Corporation Kajimi, which is the Kajimi the Elka Synthex one? I think it is, isn't it?
It looks like it. The button's on the left.
Yeah, this is totally unprepared off my memory. But anyway, $4,400 for that. I don't know if I would say that's in scam territory or anything like that. They are an absolute pain in the ass to build, those things. There is a lot of soldering. I would probably be happy if someone gave me $4 grand for the amount of effort that you would put in. Ask Robin Vincent. He's doing the Deckard's Dream at the moment, so ask him how hard it is. It's not easy. But anyway, yeah, that was a good one. What about Rupert Pete Townsend's Neve for sale, $330,000. I mean, it's a beautiful console, isn't it? Look at that console. It's absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, I don't know. I wonder how many times Pete smashed his guitar onto it. I doubt it. Pete was actually pretty cool. Would you spend 330 grand on a Neve? They're pretty... 100 grand is not unheard of for Neves, though.
Would I spend 330,000?
Darren, you'd spend more, wouldn't you, mate? Let's be honest.
Does it come with the monitors?
Yeah, otherwise I'm not spending that much on it.
Yeah, what's its 0 to 60 speed?
What's postage and packaging?
I have to ask Jeremy Clarkson to buy it. All right, what about this one? Speaking of Mellotrons, this is the M4000D. Is the M4000D digital? I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's what the D stands for, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking at $1,400 US for the digital version. I mean, yeah. The VST version that we just saw before would probably kick its butt, and I doubt very much it'll have anything on the original tape versions. So, but I don't know, people would probably pay that.
Well, I've actually watched a lot of stuff on these Mellotrons, and they do sound fabulous. I mean, they do. They've got. They might not have all the old streetly banks that the new GeForce software's come up with, but they are hardware that they are beautifully made. You can get different versions. You get quite a small one. You can get big ones. You can get them with quite a deep back, so you can put a mini Moog on top if you wanted to. You can put, and there's rack versions. I think that they are lovely things, but again, they are actually expensive. I think even the small one is about £800. So the fact that rack one is $1,400 isn't actually all that shocking if you are interested in those. But you'd have to be seriously dedicated. I mean, if you were in a prog band and you were playing live a lot, I mean, and you wanted something that was akin that you could just reach and play, I think you definitely. I mean, I think Jordan Rudess has one in his setup and stuff, but I think they're really quite lovely. But yes, it is expensive, and no, I wouldn't be buying it.
We can dream about it and never own one. It's probably like me with about 90% of the stuff that's out there. And Darren, you join me with that, don't you, mate? We look at stuff and we go, that'd be nice. Never going to happen.
Well, yeah, we all don't we just.
We made
a Euclidean circle there, Andy. By the way, I've just noticed.
Yes. Yeah. Don't ask me much about it. I've had it. I've been playing about a little bit with it, but I haven't properly got my head in. I mean, get your head into it. You turn the dial, it goes boom, 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 and then you turn it again, and it gives you different. It's really instant and a lot of fun. But it's not. The other toy is sitting next to the VPME quad drum. I've got a similar Ceteritas Alta, but I haven't actually plugged anything. It's only arrived. It arrived yesterday. And I've only just plugged it in, so I've not even had a sound out of it yet because I've not tried it.
They are massive fun. They are massive fun.
Deliberately, the Euclidean circles to pair with the similar Ceteritas Alta was what I was going for. Now they're there, now I'm going right. Let's go. Let's make some industrial noise. That's what I've done. Nice. I can do nice, twiddly, sweet-sounding ambient. Out of this, and I thought, right, sod it. Let's go nasty.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm going.
So one thing I would recommend you do is make sure that you've got some sort of modulation effects pedal nearby. And some sort of distortion pedal nearby, because the Presonus will absolutely sound so beautiful and sweet through a flanger or a phaser or that sort of stuff, or even a chorus if you want to. Mate, you're going to love it. Anyway, let us know later when you've had a chat.
It's technically a mono-synth, so I better do everything. I'll do everything on that. I'm kidding.
It is. It is though. No, that's cool. We made a mistake when we were talking about the Komiji. The Komiji is the polycobalt. And the Xerxes is the Synthex. So we got those around the wrong way. But that's all. Thanks, Daniel, for pointing that out to us. I do that a lot with stuff like, dyslexic sort of crap happening with my brain. Okay. Now, Darren, are you holding on to anything solid that you're not going to fall off your seat? Because we are about to.
I'm holding on to. I know he's always mentioning it in this, isn't he? Gee.
We are about to go into the twilight zone with something really cool, and that is Name That Synth.
Bastel Castle.
Look, before I press play, let me just put my stupid-looking face up in the corner here. If you have never ever seen this show before, we do a little segment called Name That Synth. What it is probably less visual than anything, but more it's about listening. Get your listening ears on, use both the left and the right ones. Put a decent set of headphones on. If you're listening to it on your phone, you should be shot. Put some headphones in. This is going to take you a lot of serious listening skills. You're going to try and guess what you're hearing, and then straight away, as soon as the first thought that comes to your mind, type that into the chat room, and we will keep a monitor of that as we're going. Now, let's take my ugly mug off and let's press play. And I'm going to mute everyone so that you only hear what's coming out of this. I've got to get my mouse over here somehow. Here we go. We're muted. I just said all of that.
Not any of that, he said.
I just said all of that, and I just forgot that I was with it. Start again. Start again. ARP 2600 was suggested. Matrix 1000 was suggested. ARP Axe, Slim Phatty. We had lots of things. Novation. Tell us what at Novation though. So yeah, Darren, has anyone got it correct? I'm going to put my suggestion in. Okay, I'm going to go. I haven't watched your video, by the way. So there's my suggestion.
Oh. It's not come up on there. Oh.
No, I'm going to go for. About that.
Haven't seen yours come up yet. Oh, there we go.
Coming up yet.
Yeah, can see it now. Right.
No, I don't think it's a Pro One FWM. Don't think so.
No. Anyone got it right yet, Darren? Or should we just let him off?
May have. Just play the video.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yay!
Let's get it.
There you go, guys. It was the Erebus. This is version 1 too, isn't it, Darren? This is the first version.
Well, first version, but it's version 2 because they changed the version 1. If you look in the, Andy didn't get which version right. It could have been the Mark III. It could have been the Mark 1.
Look at
if you look in the,
look at Brooksy doing a little dance, like as if he's like.
I think it's the first one I saw.
If you look at the circuit board, it's got a 2 on it. I scribbled out the Erebus.
Oh, God, that's funny.
They changed a couple of things.
Oh, I'm going to have to rewatch Brooksy's little dance. Oh my god.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that dancing.
It's
on
not
the
that
live
easy
on
when you
air,
haven't got
that's
so many
really not good.
synths in your studio.
Good choice though. Well done. I like it. I like it a lot. And you used every little
Yeah.
aspect of that thing that you could possibly use too. I noticed you used the echo and yeah, nice. Very, very good. Thank you very much, Darren, for that. You've entertained us
Yep.
immensely.
Thank you.
With a little bit of help from Brooksy.
And I get bragging rights for a week. Hooray.
Yeah, I should have watched
You
it.
just got it in time.
Stop it, synth addicts.
That's gift time. Yeah.
Actually, yes, we'll capture that, and every time we have some good tune on or something, we can just pop that in the corner.
It's low. It's going to be low res.
You reckon
It's going to
this
be
is
low
a-
res.
you
Oh,
reckon
I've
this
done
is a
it
good
now,
synth?
haven't I? Yeah.
Do you reckon this is a good synth? Andy's little dance.
Oh, it's going to be.
Oh, that's it now.
That's going to be.
I can retire happy.
You can retire.
You'll go viral with that.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
well, as long as I
TikTok
get
it.
paid, I don't care. I wouldn't know what that means, Darren.
You don't know what
Nah,
TikTok
no.
means. Yeah.
Yeah, of course I do, but I'm just pretending I don't.
Yeah. TikTok's been pretty good lately, actually. I have to admit, I've been enjoying it.
Never seen it. Never looked. There's not enough of my life left to waste it looking at teenagers dancing badly.
Oh, and that's the thing. When I first saw it, that's exactly what happened. But then they've cleaned up the algorithm, and it starts to learn what you're interested in. And now all I get is mainly synth jams and stuff. And there's some really, really good ones on there. So I do encourage you guys to check it out. Right.
What's really good is the actual riff of that goes with these dances. So funny.
It did a little bit, didn't it? Okay. Right, so what we are going to do now, I've just been preparing while you guys have been mucking around. I'm doing all the work here. Right, here we go. Is this one more segment? I did promise
Go on,
you.
get on with it.
I did promise you that
We're
we're
just
going
a live audience.
we're going to bring in another segment. Yep, that is this week. We are going to show one of my favourite dudes out there in the world, and that is Chob.
Yes,
You guys know him as Inverted Popes, and we are going to mute everything and listen to this. This is just incredible. Well, there you have it, everybody. Big, massive thank you to Chob Inverted Popes, who's hopefully still in the chat. I don't know if he disappeared or not. Hey, what do you guys think of that? That was pretty awesome, wasn't it? We're all chilled out now.
Amazing, always.
I was calling Mr. Soundscape.
Yeah, yeah. There were some really nice comments coming through, which I tried to put up. I don't know if you guys saw. I tried to put them up on the screen as they were coming through. So, so hopefully, Inverted Pope saw those, and Inky put the link to his channel or to the video in his channel. So make sure you do go check it out if you haven't. He's definitely someone to be subscribed to because he continuously produces really, really high-end quality music on his channel, and I'm really surprised he only has the small amount of subscribers that he's got. He's probably only got about 1,000 subscribers or something. It's really crazy why he doesn't have more.
Yeah, about 3,500, I think.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah.
Well, yeah,
so even still,
it should be more.
It should be a lot more than that.
And check out his Bandcamp. Go to just put Inverted Popes in Bandcamp. There's quite a lot of stuff there to download, and it's all wonderful. It really is. I mean, his Revo stuff, Oceans Deep. It's just gorgeous. Really, really, just go and get it because it's just wonderful. There we are.
Beautiful. Well, definitely worth checking out. But we need to get on with the show, and the topic of the show, which was announced a long time ago, this. What can you do with a mono-synth is the topic, and there's a few old sayings out there like, oh, mono-synths, you know, you can only own so many, and then you've kind of they just get a little bit boring, and I don't know. I kind of think they are more than one-trick pony. What do you guys think? Before we get into what I've prepared, I just thought we'd do a round table. Starting with you, Brooksy, because you've got a few mono-synths there.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on this?
When I first started getting into synthesizers, I didn't realize that they were monophonic. That was the first thing. So when I went down to Music Ground in Doncaster and checked out a synth, and it only played one note, I was like, what? Only one? That's ridiculous. And I ended up leaving with a Krumar string synth because you could play chords on that. Which I wish I still had that Krumar, if I'm honest. But then I had a sort of moment of awakening and realised that, well, hang on a minute, a flute only plays one note, a clarinet only plays one note, a saxophone only plays one note. One note isn't necessarily a bad thing. So, and then I went and I picked up my first mono-synth, and I've talked about my first mono-synth before. It was a Tysco 60F, which again I really wish I still had because that thing is amazing. Right? So, I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's the best single oscillator mono-synth that I have ever heard. Really, and I wish I still had it. Well, I mean, you think about mono-synths, I've got obviously there's the beastie behind me, the Pro One. But what else have I got? I've got the Novation base station rack. Well, I haven't got it. Kent's got it, but I've got a base station rack. I had an SH-101, which I love dearly. I've replaced that with the SH-018, which I know can play 4 notes, but I hardly ever do. It's a SH-101. I've got the TD3, the Model D in the rack, the Behringer Pro 1 in the rack. I absolutely love them. I've got no problem with that because I've got polysynths elsewhere and I know what they do. And yeah, I mean, you just use it. I was thinking about this morning, and actually a monosynth can be extraordinarily expressive. And you know, I mean, Grace is in the chat. Grace Griffin in Chillage People, we had monosynths. They were solo instruments played, and we used them all the time. Okay, we had chord instruments too, but the just using them for that and playing lead lines and just using the actual hands-on control to bring in that expressivity was part of it. And yeah, I love them to bits. I don't see them as limited. Of course they are, but those limitations force you to you work within those, and they all have their own characters and personalities, and sometimes you've got to dig a bit to get to them, but that's part of the joy.
Definitely. Well, Darren, same question to you. because you've got quite a few mono-synths as well. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah. Well, probably a bit more like Andy would say, really. I like mono-synths. I mean, I haven't got that many, to be honest. I've got a couple. But, I mean, the way I work anyway, I just getting sounds, whether it be mono or being able to polyphone, it doesn't really matter. But a mono-synth, yeah, I like mono-synths. They're great. I think they're easier. They make it easy, especially the really simple mono-synths. Where you know it's just basically one knob per function. You can create so much with just one note and one oscillator. It's amazing what you can actually do with them, as you're going to demonstrate.
Well, maybe.
I mean, I did a track a while back, didn't I? With just the Korg mono. What was it? Yeah, the monologue. I did a track just with that. I mean, I did end up using drums in the end. I did replace the drum sounds with actual drum samples, but the whole track, basically effects and sounds and everything, was done with just that one mono-synth. So yeah, so you can do a lot with just one single mono-synth. It's only stopped by your imagination, really. A few effects. You can always need a few effects, no matter what mono-synth you've got. You always want some effects, but
True.
On the whole, yeah.
Right.
You definitely need an effect, I would say.
Well, I think some good points there. One of the things, one of the things I had prepared for today is, and I was showing it earlier in the stream, is we've got the Moog Slim Phatty here. Now, there's so many mono-synths that we could have chosen. Even in my studio, I've got quite a lot of them. But I chose this one only because this one's got some challenges. So even from a mono-synth point of view, there's definitely other mono-synths that I could have chosen where there's a lot more features that are more easily accessible than on here. So I chose this one because it's more challenging. And even, talking about this today, we had Cresed saying earlier that he thought it would be difficult for me to make a hi-hat sound, and we made one already. So the first thing I kind of wanted to do is just show you kind of what my ideology behind mono-synths are. And I have a few, and it's going to encompass all of these. And that is, I'm going to use a DAW to help me because we are musicians. We have to have a tool which we can record our music in and things like that. But the benefit of having a DAW is that we can record clips of our mono-synths, or tracks if you like, and we can also manipulate the sounds out of the mono-synth in various ways. So the first thing I wanted to show you guys is the drum rack, because being a Slim Phatty, you'd probably think to yourselves, well, it's not really a drum machine. Well, you'll be surprised. So let's see if we can get some drum sounds out of it. We've got, what do we got here? Kick. We've got the bit more of a deeper kick. You guys can hear this, right? Tell me if you can.
It's coming through.
Good. There's my snare. I've got that really quiet, so I'll be quiet while I'm doing it. Actually, while I'm doing it, what I might do is grab this other mouse and make this loud so you can hear it. So there's my snare. It's kind of a tappy sound. And then we've got a hat, and so it's like a closed and open hat sounds. Right, so we can get some sort of drum beat. Not bad, hey? From the Slim Phatty. What else can we do? Resequence it. Or just have kick.
Nice.
And then you can start adding some other sounds in, like this. Now I've added effects to this because we're musicians. We want to add effects. This is not about just the raw sounds of a mono-synth. We are trying to show what you can do with one, right? So add your effects. These are effects based in Ableton. Okay. And as we can keep going with stuff. Let me just close some of these off. I've got like a droney sound over here. So I've just gone through and made all these different sounds out of the synth. And basically what we're going to do is get some sounds happening and add some sequence to it. Sound.
Ooh. That's how I tune rounds.
It is, yeah. We can tune it though. So that's a sample. There it is there. So we can tune that. So where are we? Sample, and we can detune it. Let's have a look at something here. Let's look at Juno. It's not out of tune. Pretty good.
Very clever.
Right, now go back to what we're doing. Okay, so one of the other things that I wanted to do is, this is really kind of easy. You can make chords now because we've sampled one sound and we can make chords. So we've now turned the mono-synth into a polyphonic synth. Right? And it's just using a sampler. You might think to yourself, well, that's not a mono-synth, it's a sampler. Well, we're using the mono-synth, and what can you do with the mono-synth is the question. The next thing I wanted to do was I wanted to create some funky stuff. And let me just press stop here. So let's go to opening up this key group. And the first thing I started with is, let's turn this off, is I started with a kind of a slow wave sound, which is this sample here. So that's the slow wave sound. Now I've mucked around with it a little bit in Ableton using, some MIDI effects. So I've got the mod wheel affecting volume and the aftertouch affecting filter frequency in there. So it's only slightly mucking around with it. But I wasn't quite happy with that sound on its own. I wanted to add a bit of an attacky sort of transient sound at the start. So I've added this sharp stab sound to it as well. So you get this. So now you're building, there's two Slim and Phatty sounds together. But I wasn't really kind of stopping there. I kind of decided to myself, how far can I go with using the features of a DAW and the sounds of a mono-synth? And I thought, I wonder if I can get a square sound in here, but arpeggiate it and follow the chords. And I'm doing this in just one key group here. So let's see what this sounds like. So that sounds kind of raw on its own, but when you bring that in with everything else, sort of gives chord changes and movements to what you're doing here. You can obviously add that other sound we had in, the brassy sound as well if you want to. And you can just layer your tracks up. And eventually you can build yourself a track with just one mono-synth. And that is basically as far as I got with it. I just thought I'd just show you what is possible. And there's so many more sounds. We were playing around with them before. There's so many more sounds that you could do with this thing. Like, for example, we were doing this sound before. This is actually the Moog now playing live. So you could sample that, sequence it, and then you've got like a little TB303 sound going through it. This is kind of what I mean. What can you do with a mono-synth? It's not just limited to one sound and then it's a one-trick pony. You've got to park it over in the corner and that's all it can do. Everything that I did in Ableton just there, maybe apart from the key grouping stuff, which kind of is a little bit more complex, you could probably do on an NPC or you could probably do on an Akai Force. Actually, you probably could do the key grouping things with two different key groups now that I think about it. But yeah, so for me, it's more about using the synth more to its strengths as opposed to thinking that it can only do one thing. That's kind of where I was coming from. Thoughts, guys?
Well, that's basically how I work
Sounds
in
really
my
cool.
studio, because that's yeah. Sorry, Andy.
No, you carry on, Darren.
Oh no, I was just going to say that's basically how I work in the studio. Everything's just used a bit like as if it was a mono synth. I just basically use all my studio as a sound source and then put things together either in my head and then into a track or it actually comes out as a track and then I just finish the final bit in the box. So yeah, it's pretty much how I write all my stuff. Ranz, go on, Andy. What were you saying?
Nice.
I was just saying it sounds really good. It was interesting about the sampling because way back before I bought a MIDI to CV converter, that's what I used to just create a sound and sample it onto the W30 and play it. And actually, another thing that I did was sample. Again, this is like a Jamie Geosynth thing of sampling the waveforms. So I sampled just I think 2 or 3 octaves, just not every note, just sort of like the C, a G, C, G, just the up sort of 3 octaves and make a multi-sample of that. Because a simple waveform is easy to loop, almost seamless without much effort. So you could create that and then using the W30's filters and envelope generators and stuff to basically as a synth. And yeah, you could get all sorts of great stuff out of it. And I think become lazy because you can just turn to the Supernova here or other polysynths and do that. And actually, you get a sort of different sort of sound. I think it's a really interesting way of approaching it.
Yeah, it definitely is. And the fact that you were using the S30 back in those days, pretty much the same way as what I was just using Ableton for. It's not a new technique.
I mean, we're talking about 1 second of. You could do it in like 0.4 second samples. That was the smallest sample you could actually take at first. So and just take half a dozen of those, and then you got 2 seconds of your 15-second sample time. You don't have to have it at high bandwidth either. You could have it at whatever 15 kilohertz or something, and then you just loop it. You don't need a long sample of a square wave or a sawtooth wave to be able to get a good loop point, which would then just loop seamlessly. That was easy. That it would pick those up really quickly. So it didn't take up a lot of memory, but you've got a source for creating lots of different sounds, as you would with a synthesizer. Then, perhaps not the most cutting edge of sampling techniques, but it served me well.
So one of the things that this kind of led me to was, and I noticed there was quite a few people in chat already mentioning this, and it's no wonder because it's a common thing, and that is to challenge yourself to a one synth challenge. It doesn't have to be a mono-synth, but keeping it on topic for today, let's make it a mono-synth. Challenge yourself to a one synth challenge, but I want people to, if you want to get better at being a synthesizer player and knowledge about synthesis, challenge yourself to a one synth challenge is a really, really good way of doing it. And that way, if you're making a whole track, a whole song, not just one track, a whole song, you can multi-track record your one synth and find all these different sounds. Like you heard how vastly different those Slim Phatty sounds were. Some of them don't even sound like Slim Phatty sounds, and they are. Every single one of them were. And challenge yourself to that, and I think you'll find that you'll get to know that synth better as a result of just doing that. It might take you just out for an afternoon, like maybe on your Sunday, do that in the afternoon. It's actually really enjoyable. I've done this before with the Slim Phatty before. I did it about, I don't know, Darren might remember, I did it about 2 or 3 years ago on the show. And I've done it with the MS-101, I've done it with quite a few synths, and it's a really, really quick way of getting to know that synth and what its capabilities are. In fact, what you'll end up doing is you'll find that you start, ones that can't have patch storage, like an Arturia DrumBrute or something like that, they're the ones that will really teach you, because they will force you to completely go into parts of that synth that you probably don't usually touch. So they're really, really good. And drown them in effects. Go for it. I mean, we love our effects. So go get your favorite effects pedal out of the pedal board or out of the cupboard, wherever you store them, and plug them in and record them together, whatever you want to do, or use effects inside your DAW if you like those. I mean, I love some of my VST effects, and Darren's the same. We've got go-to effects that we love inside VSTs, but I also love outboard effects too. I love like the Big Sky and some of those others. So drown them in effects. Do that. It's good fun. Interested to see what chatties have to say about this. So there's been a lot of people saying that they've done this, which is good. There's been a lot of people saying that they have recommended I've seen a couple of recommendations while I was doing my demonstration. I just saw them in the corner of my eye. So they're good, those recommendations. That Jaxus one was good, and I think there was another one that was earlier that was a good recommendation. I remember seeing that too. Even if it's not a mono-synth, like X101 says there, you kind of use the digitone. That's a good way of getting to know the digitone. Those things are kind of tricky to learn.
Yeah, I did the Juno 6 for a small stone.
Ooh. That's nice, isn't it?
Ooh.
That was one of the tracks out a while back.
So Neil was asking me what reverb did I put the Sub 37 through? So I used a Slim Phatty in this, not a Sub 37, and I used a VST reverb called Black Hole, which is by Eventide. But if I was to use my Sub 37, which is over in the corner, I actually do have a Sub 37, and that is not it. Why did that go to there? That's weird. That's really weird. There it is. There's my Sub 37. If I was to use that as a one synth challenge, this would actually give me even more than a mono-synth because it's duophonic. I would probably put that through the Big Sky. That thing sounds amazing through the Big Sky. Big Sky makes everything sound amazing. Oh, guess what I'm getting? Speaking of reverbs.
A headache?
I'm getting the Happy Nerding FX XL, whatever it's called. That.
Do you know what, Rance? We're just going to sound like copycats of each other because guess what's on my shopping list for next month?
The Happy Nerding. The only reason why I'm getting it is because that ECR1 thing was a train wreck, and I felt like there was a massive hole that I needed to fill, and I was kind of having a big cry about the ECR1. So I wanted to have a little reverb thing inside my my Eurorack that wasn't part of Clouds, because it's done to death, that thing. I just really wanted to, you know, and I honestly believe that the FX Aid XL is the one I meant to say, you guys. That's actually a really, really good module. So we'll see how good it is, but all the demonstrations that I've seen of it, I've been very, very impressed with it. And it's gonna suit beautifully my VCA matrix here.
Yeah, it's not very big either, is it? It's really quite a nice slim thing. So
yeah, is it like 8 HP or something?
It would just slot nicely.
Yeah, 6 or 8 HP.
Quite nice.
He did send me a photo of it. Where is it? It's going to be used. Sorry, guys. That's about all I can. For me, that's about all I can do these days is get used stuff. Oh, have I lost the? He sent me the.
Again, the second-hand prices of Happy Nerding FX8 XLs are not, again, a bit like the Presonus. They're not that much lower than the new price. Again, I've done quite a lot of hunting around for those sort of things, but you know, I think you might drop on. Who knows?
Yeah, I can only find it now. Where's he put it? There it is. Copy that and save that image as. Where am I going to put it? Not there. There we go. You can actually see what it looks like before it even comes here.
Synth Addict saying check your Facebook messaging as soon as possible. You will like it. Oh yes.
Okay, doing that. There's the one that I'm getting, the exact one that I'm getting. So it's black, and it's coming, and this is going to be good. This is going to be good.
What's he done?
Has he done it?
How am I going to get this to him? How do I save this?
Oh no, you git! Don't you dare! Don't you? I know what you're going to do now.
Is this going to work? Will this actually work on here? I don't know if this works. Ready?
And Andy
Set.
Synth Addict, you deserve a slap.
Oh, that is brilliant. How quick did he get that done? Hey? You're a good sport, Brooksy. You do have bragging rights, though. Look how it's paused. Just have a look. Look how... We could just leave that fading in the background.
It's not dancing, it's shadowboxing.
That's a good Angels song, that one. Shadowboxer.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so that's done. Yeah, I was talking to Inverted Popes about the Happy Nerding FX8 the other day. So that's kind of where that came from. Yeah. Right. Okay. So what about you guys? What do you think? Going to back to this topic again, trying to keep it clean. About mono-synths. What can you do with them? What else can you do with them? Well, some of the things that I didn't say in my little talk before was you can use a mono-synth to change the characteristics of another mono-synth. So if you've got two mono-synths, you could use one mono-synth to change the characteristics of another one. And some good examples of it, like for example, this mono-synth here, which is made, I know a lot of people don't love Behringer, but just bloody get over yourselves, people. This one here, right, has quite a lot of modulation outputs, CV outputs on it. I could bring some of that stuff into the, which is right in front of me, into the CV inputs of the Slim Phatty. So, for example, we talked about making the possibility of an envelope to loop, envelope looping and stuff like that. You could do that with using another mono-synth as a modulation source for one. So, for example, maybe your mono-synth that you like the sound of doesn't have enough LFOs, or it doesn't have enough, maybe it only has one oscillator. You might want to put another oscillator with it. So one of the things that I used to do is I used to get, there's a Moog pedal that you can get called, it's not the ring modulator one, it's the, what's it called? It's the one where it's got, it's an oscillator pedal. Frequency box. I used to get the frequency box pedal, and I used to run that through the Slim Phatty because the Slim Phatty has an audio input in it, and it also takes CV inputs as well. So that will turn the Slim Phatty into a 3 oscillator mono-synth, which basically makes it similar to a Model D, just by putting that extra oscillator into it. So there's things like that you can do that will help you as well. You could use UARAC to do that sort of stuff as well. What other ideas are there, guys? Chatties? Freakbox, yep.
Andy, you...
Oh, my camera in the background. Lady Aptitude is talking about that camera there, that one there. That is the camera that I'm using to, watch this, you like this, that I'm using to show around my studio with. I'll move. There you go. Whee!
He's actually looking for the Hubble with it.
Haven't found it yet. Been looking for a way to be good at music as well. Still haven't found that yet. Yeah.
If you're like me, Ranzee be looking for a while.
I'm beyond of age of, you know, there will never be a day where I perform. I'll be the sex symbol in front of everyone.
Be careful what you say there.
Those days are gone. We have to accept it. No, that's never happened, even when I was young. Dear me. Yeah, so there's other things you can do. Like, I mean, I kind of cheated. Like, I used the DAW and I multi-tracked. Like Darren and I were saying, that's kind of what we do all the time. But you could use a looper pedal as another way. So you could have one patch making a sound like a bass sound, and you set the looper pedal off with that, and then you go with the next sound, and then you start using that. So looper pedals can be a very simple thing here, where, you know, that could get you a very sort of basic way of getting into the mono synth magic. But one of the other ones, the other things that I absolutely love, and I did show it, is I think mono synths, they sound amazing when you sequence them with either an arpeggiator or a sequencer, and you put that through a delay pedal. And they kind of almost have polyphonic sound as a result of that. And I think that's where they shine.
Yep, all the time.
Yes, when I put it through the...
absolutely got to do that.
TC Electronics triple tap delay, which is really cool, because you can have it in series or parallel, the actual 3 delays, which really makes for some extremely
Grace
cool melodies.
In the chat, Grace in the chat said earlier about when we're in Chillage People, and it was basically mono-synths plus delays. You know, she had the now I think it was it TC Electronic, that D2 delay, so like 2 or 3 different taps and stuff like that. Yeah, astronauts, you should astronauts should share. Astronauts, blimey, how can I share it? Maybe another time. My brain can't function at that level right now. But yeah, that was a lot of what
Too
we
much
did.
dancing,
and
Andy.
she got these multi-tap delays everywhere. It was just mental. Yeah, that was quite a lot of what we did. Yeah. Oh, do you remember sort of the two programming the sequences into the Pro Ones and then sticking the clock cables in at the back mid gig? Right, Rupert, stick the clock cable in. Right, go. Honestly, you think, where's the cable gone? It's on the floor. It's honestly. Yeah, the fun flying by the seat of your pants. Honestly, that's what it was.
So that was. I'll turn that one off. That was a sampled one.
That was astronauts.
There's a way to make this thing stick, isn't there? I forget now. Cursor. There we go. So that's exactly what we were just talking about. What happened?
Oh,
Adamski.
No, me getting cross and annoyed.
Adamski, thank you very much for the 7 pounders. One for the Kiki guys. Small token of appreciation for your relentless entertainment. Thanks, buddy. Much appreciated. We do it. Hopefully, we can put a smile on your face each week. That's why we're doing it. But yeah, as you guys could see, that's the Slim Phatty's built-in arpeggiator. I just want to show you guys. That is actually the Slim Phatty's built-in arpeggiator, so you can actually turn it off. You just double-click in there, and you just click at that again, and it sets that. It's actually quite a nice arpeggiator, and it's got a couple of errors in it, like it doesn't learn to reset properly and that. But I actually like it. That kind of does some funky, weird things when you change. So yeah, I like it. The arpeggiator on the Sub 37 is also pretty cool fun to play with. So maybe your Mono-Synth doesn't have an arpeggiator, so you could use something like Ableton to run your arpeggiator, which is what I did with this. I was showing you that key group. So that's that sequencer sound with the square wave. You can see down the bottom I've got the arpeggiator running, and then there's the sampler next to it. So that's how they work. So when you run that, you can see that. That's how that works. So yeah, arpeggiators are great, delay pedals are great, ping pong delays are good for that sort of, that trying to get that sort of stereo effect, but at the same time that helps you kind of believe you've actually heard more than one note. It's a trick of the mind, and that's how you can make your mono-synth sound like it's a polysynth. I think it's a cool little effect.
960 sequencer into the Model D through the Dread box. What is it? That Dread box thing? It's called the Nostalgia. Into that, and you can take separate outputs of the Nostalgia, different clock rates, and then pan them in different places. So you get that sort of ping ponging automatically of different. It's great. It's great, and that's your instant tangerine dream. It's fab.
You're in a happy place when it's tangerine dream, aren't you?
Oh yes, me. When I'm doing that, yeah, I'm doing that and then playing on the Mellotron on the MPC. Yeah, it's great fun. It's just instant Rubicon and Ricochet. It's just ace. I love it.
Yeah. Did
Such
you know?
Cliche, but that is me.
With your MPC, you can sample like a clip, and there's actually an arpeggiator in the MPC, and there's also a ping pong delay in the MPC, and it's actually pretty neat.
Oh, there's loads of effects. I mean, I have also. I mean, there's the spring reverb and the.
Oh, he's jumped off again.
I think it was because he was going to explain his spring reverb.
Yeah, spring. That's what the noise is. It's spring reverb.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
Oh, well, that was ping-ponging backwards and forwards.
poor guy. It's so frustrating when you have technical issues. Like, I remember when we first started doing this show all those years back, and we used to, like, I don't know how we did it, like a couple of cans and a bit of string. Technical issues.
No, there was like hours, wasn't there? The whole show basically was just like,
oh, Brooksy's back.
Or things not going right. Oh,
You were talking about
there.
spring reverb. Oh my God, he's paused again.
Oh, it's the spring reverb.
It's the spring. No, he's back.
Spring reverb.
Don't stop it. No
he's-
more.
Yes.
No
he's
more.
dancing. No. Oh.
Virtual visible panty line disconnected. Bring it to the bottom.
We get your frustration, mate. We do. It sucks. It does. You can quickly tell us about your spring reverb before it disconnects again.
Boing.
Okay, let me finish.
I've got
Let me
one
finish
right
it. Ready? So do the boing again.
Boing.
Boom, tat.
Boing.
Kraftwerk.
Oh, yeah. Boing. Boom, chack. Boing. Boom, chack. Ping. Boing.
Great.
Ping. Boom, chack.
Music
Ping.
non-stop.
Do, 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 do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We are losing it. I think we're losing it. This
Sorry,
is
everybody. I'll behave like a reasonable human
Losing.
being next week, I promise.
lost it. Yeah, exactly, Darren. We have lost it. Dearie me. That was good. So, is that what you were kind of expecting in the chat? Tell us in the chat when I said to you, "What can you do with a mono-synth?" Or were you kind of expecting something different? Were you expecting me to like do the Volker thing? We are getting a bit tired.
Fry an egg on it.
There's some good memes about
Or
it.
freeze it.
Someone in the Discord during the week suggested that we do the Volker thing. I thought it was quite funny. Yes.
What is doing the Volker thing? Have I missed something?
Well, it involves one of the planets that is named after your anatomy.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. Yes. Right. Move on to the next. Right. Okay. Drink when Andy says spring reverb. I'd never say spring reverb. You'd be very dry if you waited for me to say. Right. I'm not saying. I'll never say it.
You know, when you disconnect though, like ask Darren, it makes a weird pop sound, doesn't it, Darren? It's like really weird. It's like it goes.
We could
pop.
sample it.
We can sample that pop sound.
It's like it just overworks too much.
It's crazy. Yes, no Volker insertions on this show. All right. I think we should wrap it up. I do, because I think we're starting to become stupid, and that means the brain has lost. That means the brain has lost all capabilities. Look, maybe I might go and make a track with that. I don't know. I don't think it's. I don't think it's that good. Oh, I'm going to ask some questions here. Missed out most of it due to the technical issues, so we'll answer that later. Yeah, I don't know, IP, if you saw that we're playing your track before, so I do apologise if you missed that. You can always watch it on the replay. Max asked me, do I use my Ranzee much? Yeah, absolutely. I love resonators. Rings resonators are so good. They are really, really good. In fact, I am actually thinking about getting another module, which is a resonator, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. I think it's a IntelliGel one. I think it's an IntelliGel one, but I can't remember. I saw it like last week, and I've just completely forgotten what name it is. And I was thinking about, wow, that one looks really good. So I do like resonators, and some of the resonators that you can get aren't generating resonators. You need to feed something into it for it to resonate. So they're interesting as well. So I don't know whether I'm going to get a generating resonator or a feeding resonator. Like the Ranzee is a rings clone, and that's a generating resonator. So Typhoon is the clouds. Ranzee is the rings. Yeah. So it's done by the guy in California called Synths. So he does a pretty good job of those modules. Eddie's saying his computer does the same thing noise every time I release the audio driver to another program. Okay. Could be related to that. We're talking about the pop sound, Brooksy. The pop sound.
But Brooksy does pop. Okay. For the first time ever.
Anyway, we are going to wrap it up. Much appreciated, everyone, for being here for 3 hours and enjoying your Saturday morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is in your part of the world. Much appreciated to this guy here, Darren, and this guy down here, Brooksy. 2 shows, Brooksy, we're calling him.
A very thoughtful
Shit.
A very thoughtful track tomorrow. So you need to watch the video as well.
All right. So we're going to have subdued. That's the word. Subdued and thought-provoking. Yeah. Right. So do check out Mr. House's channel. There's a link to his channel in the description below. Other than that, we are going to wrap it up with enjoyment and laughter and fun, and we'll see you all next Saturday, bright-eyed and fairy-tailed. Bye-bye. Toodaloo. See you later.
Bye-bye.